An introduction to Pauper, the best budget format for Magic the Gathering.
Today we're going to bring you another deck tech, but this isn't a deck for any old format. Oh no, this is a Pauper deck tech.
I'm going to queue it up in a Pauper daily, and that is the reason why I believe that Pauper is becoming so popular.
Today, we are heading to the land of commons. We are looking at Pauper today.
We don't even have an official paper Pauper ban list.
This just in, Pauperganda Knights. Cloud of Faeries is dead.
When you first told me about Pauper, I didn't have the complete knowledge of the back catalog, but once I started tinkering around with it, I mean, it's a great way to play the game, especially for, like you said, for the budget.
Did you know Pauper was created by 3 players on Magic Online? The users Tolarian, Wind, Zahori, and the Orange Mitten accidentally came up with the format as they started organizing budget-oriented events for players to compete in. It took several years after the very first Pauper tournament for Wizards of the Coast to finally sanction the format on Magic Online. By that time, Pauper was already established as a legitimate format by the online community. Today, Pauper is mostly played on MTGO, but many stores around the world do run paper tournaments for the format. In 2005, player-run events, commonly referred to by the abbreviation PREs, became a convenient and popular method of running large-scale tournaments on Magic Online. These events were independently run and advertised on the official Magic Online forums. During this time, the amount of active players on Magic Online was a fraction of what we see today, so cards were much more difficult to obtain and more expensive, inevitably leading to the rise of budget formats. One of the biggest proponents for PREs was MTGO user Zahori, and when he got his friend Tolarian Wind involved, they opted to run a more budgeted format since their collections were smaller than most. Zahori and Tolarian Wind eventually settled on Peasant as their format of choice. For the uninitiated, Peasant is an uncommon/commons format that's also much older than Pauper. Tolarian Wind became the event organizer and decided to name his Peasant tournaments PDC, which stood for Peasant Deck Challenge. To attract as many players as possible to their event, they scheduled their very first tournament 3 months in advance. Now, a couple months before the tournament would begin, Darksteel, the second set in the original Mirrodin block, released and caused a major issue with the state of the Peasant format. Since Peasant allows uncommon cards to be played, the card Skull Clamp would be legal, which would create a major problem as the card was severely overpowered. In addition to the Skull Clamp issue, Peasant didn't have an official ban list. Even if the organizers could enforce a ban list, it would have been infeasible to do deck checks on Magic Online. With the tournament approaching, their struggle to find an answer was solved when MTGO user the Orange Mitten suggested changing the format to commons only since there was no card at commons strong enough to be banned. At first, Zahori and Tolarian Wind did not like the idea as they thought the format would be super boring. However, when they tested the format, it turned out to be the exact opposite. With no ban list needed and less than a month left, they decided to change the format to their new creation, but they did not have a name for it yet. Tolarian Wind perused the thesaurus for peasant synonyms until he found the word pauper, and thus the format was officially born. Fun fact, the first card to be banned in Pauper was Cranial Plating from 5th Dawn. Believe it or not, the equipment was the only card on the ban list for a very long time. As of today, there is an official Pauper Magic Online ban list on the mothership, but the format has yet to be officially supported on paper, which leads to the awkwardness I'm about to tell you about. There are many cases in which the rarity of a card's physical printing differs from the rarity of the digital version. This is because Magic Online has had several exclusive sets that change the rarity of cards. Some examples are Fireball and Hymn to Turok, which have common versions in paper, but are only uncommon on Magic Online. Since Pauper legality only goes by what's available online, those 2 cards cannot be played. Awkward, right? One of the most egregious examples in Pauper's history was Curd Ape. For years, the only version of the Primate on Magic Online was 9th edition, making it uncommon. However, a common version was finally made available as an exclusive promo for Magic Online accounts in 2008. Unfortunately, the promo versions of cards that change the rarity do not dictate Pauper's legality. This lasted for 8 years until Eternal Masters was printed and available on Magic Online, and Curd Ape was finally a real common. Finally, just for fun, let's talk about one of Pauper's most popular creatures, the indubitable Muldrifter. This flying fish has seen a constant appearance in Tier 1 decks for over 8 years. It is also known as a limited all-star, which usually translates to doing well in Pauper. Many blue mages cannot resist adding a pair or quartet of these card-drawing fiends to their deck. It's the more you know. That's all we have for you today. We'd like to thank Tim Saunders, aka The Orange Mitten, for providing us with the history of Pauper's creation. Please take a look at his blog, paupertim.com, to learn more about the Commons-only format. Also, be sure to check out pdcmagic.com, the website that started the Pauper craze since the very beginning, and still actively organizes tournaments on Magic Online. This video was voiced by me, Wedge, from the Manosaurs. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear more about all things Magic the Gathering, be sure to check us out at youtube.com/themanosaurs. We'd love to have you. And don't forget to subscribe to Gathering Magic for more Did You Know Magic episodes. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.